Hi, this is Sherry with Stamping at Last, and today I'm going to share with you this really cute idea I came across for your holiday tables. Now, I did not come up with this project. I found it on a YouTube video done by Jez at nigeza.co.uk, and I'm going to include a link to her video below. In her blog, she will give you all the measurements to make one very similar to this. In fact, she did use the cherry cobbler. This isn't the one I'm going to do for this video. I'm going to do a Thanksgiving theme one. But for this one, she gives you the measurements. The only thing I didn't do for the video I'm going to do today is use these little strips. This plaid strip would be 6 inches by 2 inches. This other piece of designer series paper is 1 inch by 6 inches. The ribbon is 12 inches. And then these are some little embellishments I used with punches. You can see she used a sprig punch. So let's go ahead and get started on the one that I'm planning to do for Thanksgiving. For the one I'm going to do today, I'm going to use a piece of 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 cardstock and soft suede. I'm also going to use 3 different pieces of cardstock, 1 1/2 inch by 1 1/2 inch, just little squares, to cut these little leaves out, these floral leaves. And for that, I used the Paisley framelits, and I used this one. For mine, I'm using Cajun Craze, Old Olive, and Mango Melody. So for my soft suede cardstock, it's 8 1/4 by 8 1/4. I'm going to do some stamping on here. I'm going to use this stamp, and this stamp. And it'll show up darker. I know this paper's soft suede, the ink is soft suede, but it's going to show up darker on this paper. So I'm just going to haphazardly use these stamps and stamp a design on this paper. And some of them I'm going to stamp off the paper. I'm just going to do it in different spots throughout the paper just to make it look not symmetrical or anything, just kind of Now these products I'm using are retired. On my blog, I will list the products I used. You may have some of these. If not, you can pick another design of stamps. Okay, I think that'll do it. Now I'm going to do some scoring and cutting with this piece of paper. Since I'll be doing both, I'm going to go ahead and use my trimmer. Okay, I'm going to notch this piece at 5 1/2 and 1 1/2, just at the top. So 5 1/2, just a little notch up there. 1 1/2. Then I'm going to cut from the very tip of this notch here that I did at 1 1/2, the very tip of that notch, to the very bottom of this corner. Okay, so I can just throw this part away. Now the next notch, right there, we're going to score from the tip of this notch to this point that we had just cut to. And I'm going to use my bone folder. Didn't quite get it all the way. Yeah, just a little bit more. I don't want it to tear my paper, but I think it needs a little more. Okay. Now we're going to flip this over like this. We were doing this. Now we're going to flip it over like this. I'm going to pull in my scoreboard so I can see these notches just a little bit better. Now I'm going to notch this at 5.5, just a little notch, and 1.5. That makes it a little more prominent. Now I've brought my trimmer back in. I'm going to flip this back over. I'm going to line this 1.5 inch side. Yeah, there's the other one. I'm going to line this 1.5 inch notch with the point at the bottom, just like I did before. There's the point. Let's see if you can see that. And then there's the top of that notch. I'm going to cut this off. And now that second notch up here, just the tip of that notch down to this point again, I'm going to score it just like I did last time. The first notch we cut, the second notch we score. And I'm going to use my bone folder again. Okay, now we're through with the trimmer. We're going to fold these over and burnish them on the score lines. And you'll notice it's not flush with the score line because when you close it, it's going to open up a little bit. And that's exactly what you want. It's going to go like that. So it's going to have a little bit of a curve in it. And you can do whichever side you want to. So I'm going to go ahead, let me see, I think I like this one better. What I'm going to do is put some double-sided tape on here, the tearing tape. I'm going to decide how far over it's going to go, about right there. So I put tearing tape there. And down this edge. Don't worry about that very corner because we are going to clip off the end of that. I'm going to set this here so you can kind of see what it's turning into. Now when we fold it over, also this edge is going to come over. It's going to go like that because that tape is going to adhere there. So I'm going to put some tearing tape along this edge. I'm going to burnish the tearing tape, make it a little bit easier to pull off. Now I'm going to adhere it together. This is going to go right along the edge of that score, right there. This is going to fold right on top of it and come to the edge over here, if I can get it right. Right along the edge of that paper. Okay, and then I'm going to use my bone folder. Just give this a little push. I'm going to use one of my knives to be sure that's adherent inside. Of course, the ones I did outside of the video seem to have a little bit easier time with. So we're going to cut off just the tip of this, about 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. And you'll notice this is folded under. So I'm going to turn it over this way. I'm going to put a straight edge there to make it easier to fold. I'm just going to fold it straight up. And then I'm going to put some of my double-sided tape right there so it'll stay closed. Okay. Now I decided to use some gold ribbon that I have. We'll see how this turns out. I think it'll be good. And I just want a band across there. You know, this one has a little knot tied in it, which is really pretty. But for this one, I think I just want to use like a band across it. So I'm just going to kind of measure how much I need. And then I think I'll put some double-sided tape, so when I close it, it'll just go ahead and adhere. Hopefully it'll stick to this ribbon. If I can get this off, I think it'll work. There we go. So I'm going to turn it over to the front and see where I want my ribbon. I think about right there. And I'm just going to fold it to the back. And then I cut these out, so I'm just going to arrange them on the top like this with some liquid glue, I think. Yes, I'm going to use liquid glue. So I think I'll do the green one first. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on it. Not all over it, but just enough so it's going to stick. Of course, I'm making a little bit of a mess, it looks like. Maybe I should be a little more careful. I just fell in love with this when I saw it. And I really encourage you to watch Jez's video. It is really good. She gives really good instructions. Like I say, she has printed measurements on her blog. And it's just an excellent, excellent video. Like I say, I'm listing the link below so you can find it easily. And her Christmas one is just beautiful that she made. So I'm lining all these little circles up so they match like that. And then I'm matching that leaf at the bottom, and I'll try to get this as close as I can centered between those two. There's so many different ways you can decorate this. There. I'm going to use one of these embellishments I got. I think I got it recently on Stampin' Up's clearance rack. I think I'm going to try the gold. Just going to peel that off, and I'm going to stick it right in the middle of this. Okay, this is my first one I made for the Thanksgiving table. I think I can do a little bit better the next time, but this is just my sample. I love how it turned out. I'm going to put some silverware in it. I think it's just a really, really pretty way to decorate your table. This is the other one I had come up with where I made the little pouch, but I just tied ribbon around it and put a bell on it. The only thing I would do different about this one is I would get ribbon that didn't have glitter on it, because I noticed when I was making it, this glitter does fall off of this ribbon, and I really don't want glitter getting on the food or the silverware or anything. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it gives you some ideas how to decorate your holiday table. Thank you for watching.